The number one rule to fix your shoulder problem is don't do anything that's painful. So you have some kind of shoulder issue, shoulder pain, shoulder stiffness, soreness, impingement, meaning you just can't quite move your shoulder around or your arm smoothly. So you're definitely going to want to do corrective exercises before every single workout. And ideally, you'll want to do these exercises an additional 1 to 2 times throughout the day. First, let me point out, if you have some kind of shoulder issue, I highly recommend you go see a local physical therapist. If you go to your doctor, they're most likely 9 times out of 10 going to send you to a physical therapist before they'll do any kind of MRI or advanced imaging. Either in the meantime, in addition, or if you're not going to go to a physical therapist, which I recommend, then these could potentially help your shoulder. If you do anything that's painful, if you push through the pain, you're literally just creating damage. Pain is damage, and you are going to create some sort of worse problem down the road that will require surgery or heavy medication. Again, we don't want to mess with that. All right, so I'm going to go through an entire routine from the basic shoulder exercises up through the advanced shoulder exercises. We're going to do each exercise for about 30 seconds. We're going to rest in between as much as you need. Let's get started with a posture hold. So tall posture, squeezing those shoulder blades down, back, and together, focusing on activating the muscles between your shoulder blades. We've got to get the shoulders away from the ears. Try and breathe relatively normal here, although in some of these positions that may get challenging. Good, go and rest for a second if you need to, but don't drop your form. From here, posture hold. Now we're going to do rotations. So again, make sure you're not just rotating your hand, you want to be rotating your arm as well. Abs pulled in tight. Squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Now you can get a timer going here, you can count in your head, or it's not crucial that you do this to the second, so you can certainly go by feel, but it's good to time it at least one time. Good, go and relax for a second. There's also many apps that you can download for free that you can put on a 30-second timer and it'll beep every 30 seconds. So, all right, our third exercise here, tall posture, squeeze those shoulder blades down and back, bring the thumbs to the shoulder. Good, and as you reach up to the sky, keep those shoulder blades down, back, and together. This is a difficult one. Your shoulders want to reach up. Your shoulder blades want to go up as you reach to the sky, and you've got to fight to keep those shoulder blades down. Good, done. Again, take a deep breath, relax, shake it out a little bit without dropping your form too much. You can also put on some music, put on a TV show. We don't want to distract yourself too much because you got to pay attention to form, but certainly make this time enjoyable and relaxing as you can anyway. So the next one, again, we work on this slowly. Posture hold, you guessed it, shoulders down and back. From here, we're doing little mini arm circles. And as long as you have no pain, you slowly raise the shoulders and you stop. If at any point you feel any pain, you pause. You don't go any higher, maybe even back off a little bit. But if we have no issues, you're going to go as high as you can comfortably go, up to shoulder height, no higher. Again, you're going in circles backwards, not forward. And don't let those shoulders shrug. Keep the shoulders down and back. Now this one you should really feel some burning around that 30-second point. If not, you're probably not squeezing your shoulder blades down and back and together. Good, go ahead and relax. So that's the 4 basic shoulder exercises. You should be doing those before every workout, and additionally once or twice a day, every day, until your shoulder problem goes away, although you can do this even after that. Let's move on to the advanced exercises. So we're going on to hitchhikers. So we're bent over at the hips, going out at the side, flat back, squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. At the top of the movement, just a brief pause to squeeze those shoulder blades. Squeeze. And you can do 15 of these or 30 seconds or until you feel some burning or fatigue. You may only be able to do 5 of these, and that's okay. Just like any exercise, you can work your way up from there. So the next ones we're going to do are going to be on the ground. And we're going to start with a cobra. Legs stay on the ground. Lift the chest up. Squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Externally rotate the hands. You know you're doing this right because if you rotate your hands the right way, you can squeeze your shoulder blades back better. If they're rotated forward, you won't be able to roll the shoulders back. So squeeze those shoulder blades. Good. Now you may feel some of these in your lower back. You want to tighten up the abs. So if you pull your abs in tight, that'll help support your lower back. So if you feel much pain or issues in your lower back, that might be another issue we need to address. But otherwise, tighten up those abs and that'll generally solve that problem. All right, the next one we're going to do is cobra to shoulder press. So, same thing, squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Thumbs come to the shoulder. You want to get your hands and elbow far away from the ground. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Woo! Again, 15 reps of those or 30 seconds. Those are much harder. So maybe you only get 5 or 10 reps of those in. Woo! I know I'm feeling it, so you better be. If you don't feel any of these, you're not doing them right. So we've got to squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together the whole time. All of these movements can be done improperly, and so it can seem like, oh, what, I've been doing all these exercises, but if those shoulders are slouched forward, you're not getting the benefit. So the last exercise, Superman to Cobra, or excuse me, Cobra to Superman. Squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together, externally rotate. This time the arms do not bend. Now, if you get fatigued, you can always stop and just hold a cobra, and then maybe do a couple more. Good. So, those 4 advanced, or the 4 beginner exercises, plus the 4 advanced shoulder exercises, should take you anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Ideally, you want to do them all together, but you can definitely spread them throughout the day. But again, if you have a shoulder problem, unless you want to keep that shoulder problem, or unless you want that problem to get worse, we've got to do something about it. All of us are short on time and certainly energy, but this is something that, 9 times out of 10, if you do the beginner exercises, work your way to the advanced exercises, you will have shoulder improvement. And again, if over the course of 2 weeks you're truly doing these diligently and you're not improving or it's getting worse, definitely go see a physical therapist or a doctor so you can see if there's anything more severe going on. So that's it for me, guys. Thanks for joining. So let's go through some of what's causing most issues with shoulders. Another reason to see a physical therapist is 9 out of 10 acute or chronic shoulder problems are actually a neck problem. So tightness somewhere in your neck or an issue with your neck is sending either pain signals to your shoulder, or the tightness in your neck is causing all these other muscles to tighten up, which is causing a shoulder problem. So you think it's your shoulder, but it might actually be your neck. So a professional can actually determine if it is a neck issue versus a shoulder problem. But these exercises are going to be helpful either way. Frankly, if you don't have a shoulder problem, these exercises are still good for you to do. So some of the biggest causes of shoulder problems are posture issues. And on top of that, these posture issues cause weakness in muscles that support your shoulder or your arm. So for example, as modern humans, we're all sitting at computers, we're sitting driving our cars, we're sitting on the couch. Everything we do, our shoulders are rolled forward. Even if you think you have relatively good posture, again, the nature of how we function is everything's happening in front of us. So there's always going to be a little bit of shoulders rolling forward. What this does is these muscles back here between your shoulder blades, your lower and mid traps, their job is to hold your shoulders in position, or your whole shoulder area, and those end up becoming weak because we spend so much time here. So one of the things we first will be addressing is those shoulder blade muscles. The second is within the shoulder itself, your arm sits here inside your shoulder socket, and within that shoulder socket, again, with modern humans, a lot of the times the shoulder is rolled forward. So now when you try and move your arm, it's grinding against your shoulder joint. And that's what causes that pain, that impingement, and other movement issues. So our goal is to get that shoulder back. The rotator cuff is a bunch of muscles, tiny but important muscles that hold onto your arm and rotate the arm in different directions. But more importantly, keep the arm from rotating where and how it shouldn't. So those muscles are also generally weak on people. And of those muscles, 1, 2, or even all 3 are weak and not functioning properly. We need all 3 of those muscles to work together to hold your arm in place. So 2 goals: work on the muscles between the shoulder blades to strengthen those, and also work on the muscles around the arm itself to strengthen those. And on top of that, these corrective exercises increase blood flow to these areas. Blood flow not only helps to heal an area, it decreases the chance that you'll injure things even worse. So that's why we definitely need to do these exercises before a workout and at other points throughout the day. So first thing we're going to start with is a basic posture hold. And this is really one of the biggest things you can do to help your issue is stand up nice and tall. We're going to have our palms facing forward on this one. And what we want to do is go from that rolled forward position with your shoulders, squeeze your shoulder blades back and down. Now most people, as they pull their shoulders back, their shoulders are going to shrug. And that's because, again, all day long we're doing stuff like this at the computer. So not only do we pull the shoulders back, we pull them down away from the ears. Notice how much lower my shoulders are than my ears. We could easily do one of these, but we want to make sure to bring the shoulders down. So we can hold any of these movements for about 30 seconds, and we don't want to do anything that causes pain. All right, so we're squeezing those shoulder blades, again, pulling them back, squeezing them down, back, and together. And now after holding this stretch for about 30 seconds, or this exercise, now we want to rotate the arms as much as we can in each direction. Again, pain-free. So if you can only go this far without pain, then that's what we want to do, and that will still work on those muscles. That will still increase blood flow. Now, another thing is, if you look at my hand, I'm rotating my hand, but my shoulder, my arm is not actually moving. So we've got to make sure we're not just rotating the forearm. We want the whole arm above your elbow to be rotating. And this starts to warm up all those muscles around the shoulder in the rotator cuff and starts to increase blood flow to that area. Good. So from that issue, so we got 2 exercises: posture hold, squeeze the shoulder blades down, back, and together, rolling the arms as far as you can, pain-free, while holding that posture hold. In between these stretches, you might start feeling some tension, some tightness, a little bit of fatigue. Go ahead and shake your arms out, take a deep breath. However, what you don't want to do is go from doing these nice posture holds to, oh, geez, I'm so tired. So even when you relax, we still want to maintain a decent posture. We can just not be so focused on it. Take a couple deep breaths. The next one we're going to do, starting from a posture hold, is we're going to bring our palms forward. We're going to bring our thumbs to our shoulders while keeping the shoulders down. and reach up to the sky, and do it in reverse. Squeezing those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Now, when I raise my arms up, I could shrug my shoulders, but we've got to keep those shoulders down, back, and together even during this movement. And again, we're doing about 30 seconds of these, warming up those posture muscles. Good. Go ahead and relax, shake it out, take a deep breath. We've got our last exercise. Now, this is the one that could potentially cause people issues, so we've got to do it in stages. You guessed it, we're going to start from a posture hold. So we're going to start with our arms down at the side, and we're going to do these tiny little circles. So tiny, quick circles with our arms, and we want to circle backwards. So many people are going to want to go forward, but we want to circle backwards. This again wakes up those rotator cuff muscles that are usually sleeping. Now, if you have no issue or pain here, you can start to raise the arms slowly, but you may notice, oh, I start to feel some pain there. So back down a little bit and continue those shoulder circles. If you have no pain, then we can continue to come all the way up to shoulder height, doing these tight circles for about 30 seconds. Good, go and come back down. Now, if you really focused on squeezing your shoulder blades down, back, and together, you will absolutely start to feel some fatigue, some burning within your shoulders, along your back. Your heart rate may even go up a little bit, mine is, because again, if you do these exercises in a lazy fashion, they're not going to be useful. You need to really focus on squeezing. Before people start saying, wait a minute, I got to do these exercises 3 times a day? What? First of all, these 4 exercises take 2 minutes. 2 minutes before every single workout, you do these exercises. 2 minutes some point early on in the day, preferably near the time you wake up, and then 2 minutes later on in the day, in the evening, something like that. If you want to fix your shoulder problem, this is a first step to doing that. And if you're unwilling or unable to do it, you will eventually need some much more severe options, which you don't want, which is surgery and or medications to help with the pain or shots. And again, those aren't solutions. They're short-term, pain decreasers that will lead to much more problems and pain later on. And of course, eventually a shoulder replacement, which drastically reduces your ability to move your arm in the first. These 4 exercises are a great place to start now. You're going to do these exercises for about 2 weeks. If you have improvement and it's starting to feel better, you can certainly continue to do these exercises. I would recommend moving on to the advanced exercises, which I'm about to do. Now, if your shoulder's not getting any better after doing these for 2 weeks, twice a day, but if you're doing these truly twice a day, every day for 2 full weeks, and it's not getting better or it's even getting worse, you definitely need to go see a physical therapist or a doctor to find out if there's something more severe going on. But if after 2 weeks you're feeling a little bit better, things are improving, not only can you continue these basic exercises, but we're going to move on to some more advanced shoulder exercises. And advanced, anyone can really do them. They're just, you can do these 4 exercises sitting or standing. These next exercises require some floor work. So we'll go into that next. All right, so you've been doing your basic shoulder exercises for a couple weeks and your shoulder's feeling a little bit better. You're noticing some improvement. We want to keep things going. So we're going to move up to a few more advanced exercises, which again, although I call them advanced, everyone should be able to do them for the most part. And you can actually do these from day 1 as well on top of the basic shoulder exercises. So the first one we want to go over is called a hitchhiker. And for this one, we're bent over at the hips, nice flat back, tall posture, and we're reaching the arms out to the side. And you'll notice it's called a hitchhiker because the thumb's up, trying to get a ride. As you bring the arms up, we want to squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Your shoulders are going to want to shrug up. So we've got to keep a flat back, squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. So every time you come up, squeeze the shoulder blades. Squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Now, a lot of people just kind of start doing this. This is useless, has no impact. And if you want to mentally feel better about yourself, that's fine, but that is not going to fix your problem. We need to have a slow, controlled movement where you pause and squeeze those shoulder blades at the top of the movement. Squeeze, squeeze. And again, you can do either 15 of those or 30 seconds, whichever comes first. The next ones we're gonna do, we do these ones on the ground, so find a comfortable floor space that you can be on. All right, so these next exercises, we wanna make our way to the floor. And from here, a lot of the things we've done standing, we're gonna be doing laying down now, and this gets gravity involved, so now it becomes a little bit more challenging. So from here, we're gonna do what's called a cobra. Feet can be resting on the ground. We're gonna lift up the upper body, and again, you guessed it, squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. We wanna also make sure we're externally rotating the hands, and you'll notice you're not doing this right is if your arms are rolled forward and you can't squeeze your shoulder blades back, you need to roll your hands the other way. If your hands are rolled the right way, you'll be able to squeeze those shoulder blades back and together tightly. Squeeze, 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 rotate those arms, and rest. Good. So that's called a cobra. And again, we want to do roughly 30 seconds of that, or as much as you're able to do. This should be pain-free, just like every other movement. Now, if you can handle a cobra, we're going to try the next exercise, which again is a little bit more challenging to do properly. So we start from a cobra position, thumbs come to the shoulder, then reach out in front of you. Come back down. And again, we got to keep those shoulder blades down, back, and together the whole time. Perfect. Again, we'll do those for about 30 seconds or until you start to feel some burning or fatigue. The next one is the last one in this series. And again, this one can be also challenging to do properly because we always want to squeeze those shoulder blades down, back, and together. Let's give it a go. So this one, start in a cobra, and we're going to a Superman. So your arms stay straight the entire time here. And get those shoulders away from the ears, even as your arms come forward. Perfect. And those are the advanced shoulder exercises. Hitchhikers, cobra, cobra shoulder press, and cobra to Superman. And again, you should hopefully start to feel that for sure.